If you can make $100 cuddling or selling pictures of your feet and that will make you money, go right ahead. The time is now. Welcome to the Time is Now podcast with Dr. Slava Shut. I am Dr. Slava Shut, entrepreneur, CEO, doctor of physical therapy. So I have a special guest with us today, Stacy Serrano. She is an entrepreneur, boss lady. She is partly owner of Kinetic Fitness. She's a finance person who has building her rapport in the financial field. It's truly amazing. And welcome here, Stacy Serrano, somebody who's near and dear to my heart because I help mentor her and help her build her empire. So welcome, Stacy. Tell us about you.
Hello, thank you so much, and thank you for everybody tuning in. So me, a little bit about myself. I am working with Slava in the marketing and social media world, and this is how we make all of this happen. And you know, Slava is dear to my heart as well, like he said, because he has brought so much entrepreneurship and mindset, and it has made me into a completely different person that I thought I could never be. I'm also from Florida / Costa Rica a little bit, and I was raised here in the U.S. I came here as an immigrant, and here I am, you know, ready to rock and roll.
Amazing. So I want everybody to know about your special effects makeup and everything to do with that because it's fascinating. You know, people might ask, how do you become an entrepreneur at just such a young age and have such diverse fields? I mean, medicine, finance, we've talked about that. I mean, there's some overlap because we're helping people, we're diagnosing problems, right? So how do you go from a special effects makeup artist who does such amazing work, and I've seen it myself, with financial things, fitness, physical therapy? I mean, how does it all come together?
Well, it actually all comes down to how I grew up, because simply my parents were entrepreneurs in their own way. They're both business owners, and they have, you know, their entrepreneur mindset, not to the extreme to what we've built and what you've built. But basically, as growing up, I saw my parents struggle with money, and it was kind of confusing because being in a household of entrepreneurs and business owners, it didn't make sense. Why are we struggling with money? It was because they did not know how to work their money, right? There's so many people out there that are making so much money and they're living paycheck to paycheck, right? So, and those were my parents. So when I came here to LA, now we're in LA, I wanted to be part of the entertainment world. I wanted to go and to do all the crazy movie makeup, and I love it. And I still to this day, it's my passion, but I've come to realize that it's not my purpose. My purpose is to help others, to make them grow from scratch all the way to the top. And that's why I was almost fascinated of the financial industry. And when you introduced me into it, for anybody who doesn't know, Slava is the one who introduced me into the financial industry. And going back to my childhood, because I saw my parents struggle and not knowing how money works, and I, you know, growing up with something like that, I didn't know how money worked either. So now that I know a whole different, I want to teach people like my parents. I want to show them like there's so much more than just this and this and that, like the formal way of going with life. So it's a big shift, but it all does come together. And going back to the Kinetic Fitness, my mother was bodybuilder growing up. So I was surrounded by fitness all the time. My dad was the jock in high school. He was playing football, hockey, soccer, every sport that you can think of. Both of my two siblings, Peyton and Gerson, they're both very into sports. So I kind of grew up, in the fitness industry already, and my mom's genes were naturally pretty built up in the upper body. So I just kind of went down to there, and and being part of the fitness industry and opening up a fitness company with you, I feel like it fit right into my aesthetic and who I am and how I lived, and to help other people again be healthy, understand their money, and be creative at the same time.
You were born in Costa Rica. Mm-hmm. You grew up in Florida, and now you're here in Los Angeles. Tell us about that journey of moving around. What brought you to Los Angeles? And talk to some people around the country, young people who may be stuck where they are.
Yeah, well, I wanted more in life. And Florida was not the place for me. It was very negative. It was very toxic. People thought the same mindsets, and I was always a black sheep. I thought so differently. I thought there was so much more to life than just, let's buy a house, start a family, and have a regular job. That's not the life I wanted to live. I wanted something so much more bigger than that. So I said, I need to make a change. And what's the biggest change that I can make? Is moving to a whole different state. And the reason I picked LA was, like I mentioned before, because I wanted to be in the entertainment world. And Florida was not really big on that. Again, everybody was stuck on the same mindset. Nobody was creative outside the box. And here, this is where all the movies and television was made. So I was like, let's make the shift. Now, throughout the whole process, I kind of just did it out of spite. I was in my bed at 4 a.m. in the morning, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to book myself a flight to LA. No coming back. And I packed 2 giant suitcases with as much as I could, basically like my whole life. And I came, and I had no plan. I had nowhere where I was going to stay, nothing. And thankfully, I did come to LA a couple of times just to come visit, because it's always been my place to visit. I had a friend from 2 years ago. I didn't speak to her for 2 years, and I just called her at the airport, and I said, I need a place to stay. And she said, absolutely, right? And I was shocked. I was surprised. And I said, oh my God. Well, I told her, I was like, all you need to give me is a month. That's it. That's all I need is a month. I'll figure it out. I figured out many things before. All I need is a month. She said, okay, yeah, no worries. You can stay as long as you want. Some situation happened where I ended up with her only for a week instead of a month. And my car was still being shipped. So I was like, wow, so now I have 2 days to figure it out. And I thought I was going to be sleeping in my car.
Wow.
And I was searching for a job. And that's when literally 2 days before I was about to sleep in my car is when you had hired me to help you with your social media and everything. So I was like,
see, everything happens for a reason. There's no accidents.
Yeah.
Sometimes you have to go out on that limb.
Yes.
Sometimes you have to go outside the box.
Right.
Sometimes you have to do something so extreme, so earth-shaking.
Right.
But it all comes down to action.
Right.
You were laying there, you had a thought, you actually got the tickets, you actually packed the bags, you actually got on the flight, you came out and you reached out to somebody who could probably help you.
Right.
And, with house guests, it's usually the opposite. They say it's going to be a week or a month. It actually turns into a year. So, that's pretty cool. So that says a lot about you.
Yeah.
Tell us something that's kind of shocking that we don't know about you that you would be willing to reveal here on camera.
Shocking.
Something about
you. Well, I guess not many people know that I own a house at a young age. I'm 23, and I bought a home at 20 during the pandemic, and it was all my mother's idea to come it's a surprise. She was like, you have, at the time I was working in insurance, property and casualty. I was making commission / my base salary. So I was making pretty good money for Florida. And I had great credit. I had great history. She was like, buy a house. I was like, you're crazy. I'm 20 years old. Why would I buy a house? And she's like, just give it a try. So we called a couple of realtors and they said, come. They helped me out. And next thing you know, I had a full brand new home, 2020, built from the ground up, smart home. And I was just like, I can't believe I'm a homeowner at 20. And that just kind of shows like how different my life has been and how the thought process, and again, growing up with entrepreneurs, most parents won't be like, oh, go buy a house. They don't just go out of that. My parents were constantly always supporting me in any of my dreams. So even when the time when I came here at a spite, they were like, if that's what's going to make you happy, go for it. I'm like, that is what's going to make you happy. And yeah, I might have struggled, but here I am now, right?
Well, there's always struggle with success.
Right.
Everybody has a story.
Right.
Your journey started in another country as you were born, another state. You moved here.
Right.
You haven't been here that long. You've bought a house. Tell us, is there a cost to maintain your success? Is there a cost, of climbing the ladder? And tell us more about what really was the final thing that said, you know what, I should be part of this financial industry.
Yeah, so there's definitely a lot of sacrifices you have to make as an entrepreneur. One is sleep. The main one is sleep. And also be willing to give, even when you feel like you don't want to give. Because when you give, you get. All the time. It works like that. There's I don't know, whoever says it doesn't work like that, it does work like that. Always. The more you give, the more you get. So that is the biggest sacrifice, obviously, sleeping and constantly giving things for free, your time, your energy, everything. It starts off like that, and that's fine. That's okay. That's how you grow. That's how you're going to have people trust you and see that, wow, you're reliable. You're you can do this even if I'm not giving you anything. Like, you're just there. You're that person that's there. So, being in the financial industry, it's exactly that. You're giving your time, your energy, especially in our company. We give this for free. We do this for free. We give our time and energy for free, and we're willing to sit down with anybody, no matter what your thought process are, no matter who you are, no matter how much money you have, and really understand you to help you, because that's what we're here for, is to help.
Right. You being very creative, social media has a creativity aspect of it. Makeup does too. Is there anything out there, music, poetry, art, anything that shaped you and given you some sparks of creativity?
I think mostly people give me the shift in my life. Not really. Books, yes, they help with knowledge and understanding, kind of give you that click to, oh wait, I didn't think of that before. It does give you ideas, but people are the ones that make the most impact.
You're in special effects makeup, the financial industry, social media manager, the fitness industry with Kinetic Fitness. How do you find the time in your day with these various branches of interest? How do you budget that time?
So it's hard. Absolutely. And I couldn't even imagine you, because you have even 10 times the amount of that. So there's not really, you just have to learn how to time manage. You have to give each thing. It's kind of like having kids. They're your kids, right? You have to give each kid time and in their own, maybe a couple hours here, a couple hours there, and grow all together. It's really not, there's not an easy answer. There's not there's not something that you should be looking for. It's not hard, but you just have to manage it and go through with it and figure it out. That's it.
You just do it.
Exactly.
I say it all the time. You just do it. You said something very important. You treat some of the businesses like your child. Now, some people out there might be offended by that kind of statement. I'm a father. I have 3 kids, and you have to be present with each child, with your spouse, with your business, with your friends, with your partners. Whenever you're with them and whatever time you budget with them, make it count. You have to be present with people, and that's the secret. When you say, I don't have time for this, time for that, who do you give something to do? Somebody that has plenty of time or somebody who's an entrepreneur who's busy? You always pick the entrepreneur. Why? The person that has plenty of time, well, they have plenty of time for a reason. The entrepreneur will find a way to get it done. It's so important. We're going to shift to something really cool.
Okay.
We've talked about this, and I'm mind blown about some of these different entrepreneur fields. You guys are going to laugh, folks, but we coined the phrase alternative entrepreneurship. I just heard about some of these things, and I had my staff look into this and get statistics, and this is just mind-blowing. Okay, I've heard of professional cuddlers, tooth gems, microblading, eyelash extensions, professional ticklers, OnlyFans, and so much more. What are some of these niche businesses that you find shocking, if anything? I mean, at your guys' age, none of you find anything shocking anymore. Is there any profession that you wouldn't do?
That I wouldn't do?
Yeah.
Well,
and did you find shocking?
To answer your first question, I definitely find the tickling shocking. That is like, I can't believe people pay other people to tickle you. Well, like, that's just...
I have some statistics. I mean, it's beyond that. I have statistics and prices for some of these services.
Okay, let me hear.
All right. So, here we go. Tickling. Up to $100 for an individual session. Prices for couples tickle therapy is not listed, but you could get individual professional ticklers to tickle you and a spouse, okay, or whatever relationship somebody might have, but up to $100, folks. I mean, I'm telling you right now, talk about an entrepreneur. People figured out that you could be a professional tickler, charge $100. I don't know who's paying this, but somebody must be paying this. $100 for tickling. Mind blowing. Now, a professional cuddler makes from $40 to $80 an hour plus tips. You can't forget the tips. After having cuddled up for about an hour, of course you get a tip. And the majority of the clients are men. Majority of cuddlers are women. Shocking. And the Cuddler app claimed to have 10,000 hits per day. Wow. And there's people who earn $40K a year cuddling. Okay. Listen up, folks. That is amazing. Talk about entrepreneurship. Now, you would think, I'm a conservative guy. I'm mind blown. Like, I'm amazed at today's world where somebody provides cuddling, tickling. They make good money. I mean, this is good money.
Right.
I mean, I don't know how many people can see in a day and how many people are involved, but if this website, this app claims to make 10,000 hits a day, there's a lot of people driving traffic. Tooth gems, okay? You mentioned this to me.
Yes.
So somebody, non-dentist, puts a gem on your tooth. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. So it's like bedazzling your teeth?
Yeah, pretty much.
Fantastic. $50 a gem. I mean, dentists would like to have their clients. I have a lot of dentist friends, all right, that will fight over a $20 copay or whatever, and my office too, but they'll pay $50 for a gem in your tooth. That is mind-blowing. That's amazing. And you do not have to be a dentist. It's fantastic. Can you explain to me this microblading and eyelash extension thing? I mean, that has to be performed at least by a licensed esthetician. So who makes about $47 an hour. Is anybody hiring out there? $47 an hour. It's fantastic. I mean, I don't know what exactly the school is for being an esthetician, being licensed, but that sounds amazing to me. I don't know how much it costs. I don't know how long it takes, but I imagine amazing. That is entrepreneurship. And this one is completely mind-blowing to me. OnlyFans. The top creators and OnlyFans make sometimes up to $100,000 a month. The average is $151 a month. This was paid out of $2 billion as of 2022. So the average subscription fee is $7.20. There are 170 million users and 150 million creators. Wow.
But it doesn't always have to be like nudity and sexual. There's people out there that do like cooking shows or even workouts, kind of like what we do at Kinetic.
Right.
Even motivational speakers and mentors, they do that.
I'm sure
Now,
they're doing great. I'm sure. However, if I was to take statistics and get the actual numbers of the cooking show, maybe that's our next project. The cooking show, what they make versus, somebody who's not clothed. I would imagine that the great motivational speakers, I don't know if Tony Robbins is there yet or Mylett, providing speeches, but I imagine that the big money makers are on the other side. I just imagine.
Yes, of course.
I do not have facts, folks. I do not have the facts.
Sex always sells. It will always be big, unfortunately.
I always go back. This is entrepreneurship. I know it's funny, and we're all getting a good kick out of it. It's hilarious. But I'm telling you right now, if you can make $100 cuddling or selling pictures of your feet, and that will make you money, go right ahead. I'm all for it. Listen, I cannot tell you what to do. This whole show is about entrepreneurship, and I talk to CEOs and people who are big business people growing their businesses. This is business. Yep. It is absolute business. I'm not here to judge. I'm just here to point out to you folks that you could be in the financial industry, you could be in the medical field, you could do makeup, you could be a social media manager, you could be an amazing writer, you could do whatever you want. And you could also have alternative entrepreneurship. It's amazing. All right, we're going to go to our next segment.
Okay.
This is going to be pretty cool. So our next segment is a fun game we call Fake or Florida. So you should be well versed in this. I expect you to do well, okay? The Fake or Florida segment. In this game, we are given two headlines. We have to consider and say which of the two headlines are real headline that came from a news outlet in Florida, or if it's something that is completely fake and we made up ourselves. At least it was when my team wrote it. So they came up with a segment. There's a real headline out of Florida, which is interesting, and something we made up. And let's see if you could tell the difference.
Okay.
So there's only one person knows the answer on our team. I don't know the answer. You don't know the answer. Okay. Alex over there knows the answer. So we're going to see what happens here. So I'll be playing along with you.
Okay.
Round one. Here we go. Florida man attacked by squirrel during attempted selfie. Florida man accidentally invents water-powered engine. accidentally. Which one is Florida and which one is fake?
Well, they both sound like Florida things. If you guys are from Florida, you know how crazy Florida is. But I have a feeling that the person was not attacked by a squirrel. I'll tell you.
So you're saying that the real headline in Florida was accidentally creates a water-powered engine.
Yes.
I'm going to go the opposite of you. I'm going to go number one. I believe this came out of Florida. I do believe a man was attacked by a squirrel while taking a selfie. I'm sure he was somewhere he shouldn't be, and that squirrel was pissed off, and he got what he deserved. Please, Alex, tell us the answer.
The point goes to Dr. Slava.
Yes. It's just, first of all, being a science guy, if we would have found something, it wouldn't be by accident that powers water with an engine. That's just me. The squirrel thing, I believe it. Round number 2. Florida man steals state constitution by pretending to be the governor. Florida man throws alligator through Wendy's drive-through window.
Oh, that one has to be real. The second one has to be real.
You know what? I'm going to go with you on that.
Yeah.
I do not believe that that's believable in Florida, but I don't believe that's true. I do believe somebody picked up an alligator and tried to put him through a window at Wendy's. I definitely believe that. Alex, please let us know.
You both get the point.
Oh, yes. Do I know my Floridians or what? I'm in Florida all the time, by the way. All right, round 3. Florida man wakes neighbors by screaming and pretending to be a firework. Okay. Florida woman hospitalized after drinking only seawater for 3 years.
Interesting. Again, just both sound like they're real.
I know what I'm going to here.
I don't know how you would sound as a firework while screaming. So I'm going to say that one's fake.
I'm going to go with, I think it's true. I think that was a headline in Florida. I do believe so. I do not believe you could survive just on seawater for 3 years. That's just my opinion. Not to mention you can't drink seawater at all, right? Not even a glass without having some complications.
Unless you're boiling
That's a possibility. But I'm going to go with, in Florida, I think some guy woke up the entire neighborhood by pretending he was a firecracker, and I think that's true. I think that was a headline. Alex?
The point goes to Dr. Slava.
All right.
Oh my God.
3 for 3. Do I know my Floridians or what?
I guess.
I mean, I could sniff out the truth out of craziness. All right, well, thank you for playing the game, and thank you for letting us get to know you. Can you let everyone watching and listening know where they can find you? And thank you for spending time with us. There's going to be more of you, obviously, because you're always involved with me and all the projects we have.
Yes.
and growing. And if you'd like to get involved with us, please let us know. We're always looking for good partners. This field is wide open. There's not enough of us. There is not enough financial professionals. There's not enough entrepreneurs. There really is not. It's a very small handful of people who are willing to go out on a limb and do great things. So you could be one of them. So how do we find you, Stacy?
Yeah, so I have my makeup website, which is makeupbystacy.com. And then you can find me on Instagram, Stacy Serrano _. I believe that's also on TikTok and Pinterest and Twitter. Actually, Twitter's xstacy3. And that's it. That's all the platforms I have currently.
So do you have any last words, anything you want to share with the audience? Any golden nuggets?
You're never too young to be an entrepreneur. There's 5-year-olds out there who are entrepreneurs and are successful, and in fact, millionaires at 5 years old.
That's classic.
You don't ever think that just because you grew up a certain way that you can't break that chain, that you are heard, that just because you're different doesn't mean that you're not going to succeed. Definitely find a mentor because it's definitely going to be the big shift in your life to allow you to see a different way, shape, or form of how you're currently thinking. Because you might be thinking correct things, but that little oomph is going to elevate you 10 times more.
Thank you, Stacy, very much. You need to be that person for your family. If your family is your why you get up in the morning, why you work so hard, why you want to succeed, then that why should propel you. There should be nothing that stops you. Once you have that why, just keep going and going and going. Thank you, Stacy. So everybody, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe if you're watching us. If you're listening, make sure to rate us on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. Thank you for listening to the Time Is Now podcast with me, Dr. Slava Shut. Tune in every Friday at 8 a.m. and send in your questions to Dr. Slava Shut on Twitter. Thank you, thank you, thank you.